the brief of the gig seems to be about how we operate in the world, in the 3D. And it's that whole unknown of what's its form even supposed to be, and how invested do you become in the, like you describe, you get waking up in the morning around like, okay.
Hey, thanks for joining us on the podcast. I wanted to share this conversation with somebody. It wasn't meant to be a podcast, but this section that I'm sharing with you in a second really speaks deeply to who we perceive ourselves as a soul beyond this third dimensional reality. And I seriously think that if you are called to this, then this 15-20 minutes is really going to make a profound difference in who you think you are in the world and why you do the things that you do. What it's inspired me to do is to create the Soul Shift series, season 2 with her. So we may do some extra podcasts around this and get deeper and deeper. So beautiful. Have a listen. I'll see you soon. You know, I feel like there's weak areas for me, like things that get my attention in my life. And they're different to the weak areas for Dione, so thank God, keep each other in track. And I think we all have that. We have some egoic, personality-driven, weak area that just tries to vie for attention all the time. And just being in the space where we can allow that to just, good on you, okay, thanks for getting my attention, but that's not what I'm focused on here.
And that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? That the ego.
Yeah.
That navigation system that was put in to have to program ourselves at birth.
Yeah.
The ego, it's like you said to me in our last session, it's like there's this little girl who's always demanding your attention, like, Mom, Mom, Mom. And it was like, oh, far out. It's so true. It's so true. And yet that's part of the play, to experience, for me, for you, for all of us, to experience our gifts, to experience freedom or joy or love or all of them. Just well-being, to experience well-being, ease.
Yeah.
Despite deep grooves and patternings of our ego, which I know theoretically is driven and sort of grasp it experientially, which is driven by some scars and like past life stuff too, of course. But it's just being okay with not making sense of it, but allowing it to influence everything in the physical. Thank God for kettles and cups of tea. Ginger biscuits. Whatever takes your fancy.
Hilarious.
But I tell you what, Mark, the one thing that I am so grateful for and value immensely is being able to just bounce it around and not have answers, but talk about it in conversation like this. Because I just think I'd feel like in a barren, alien landscape if I didn't have, people in my life that I can have these conversations with.
Yeah,
including my partner, who has a complete different perspective, and he gets it, but then there's a point where it's like, enough, just have fun, just lighten up. What do you want? Just do it.
And it is interesting because I do get the lighten up and have fun aspect, but it's not me. Like, I can tell that I'm naturally, like, I am light of spirit, but my focus is much more directed. Do you know what I mean? Like, at expanding past that. So that's an answer, but I think it's particularly for me. I don't want to speak for you, but you can, but that unfolding of the mystery in terms of understanding who we are, and then how far can we take that in this space, so that we get to see all of these layers unfold all at once, including what is here, as a human being.
Yeah, I get that. I think I can relate to that to a degree, because there's the more experiences I have, there can very easily be an attachment to more and more experiences, to like, how far can this go? What else can this reveal? But there's always, and it's part of this seriousness. I don't know if it's the Saturn influence in birth chart, whatever it is. There's this, but what's it asking of me in service?
Yeah.
For me, it's a question of service. Like, I find service to be a real key in the puzzle. And I don't know if that's a dogmatic thing that I've picked up through observing my parents being in service to community and different aspects of community that they believed in over the years. And then through all the years of, being involved in a spiritual organization, that like the summit or the path to the summit is selfless service.
Yeah.
And they're not saying, it's not like Hare Krishnas. It's not all about serve, karma yoga. It's not, it's very rounded in its philosophy, but it's like, that's the something to hang your hat on is,
yeah.
I want to serve. So sometimes I get a bit confused how much of it is me and even my soul. And because it's, it's this innate yearning to communicate with the highest and to just be the vessel of service.
Yeah.
And how much of it is conditioning.
Yeah. Does that matter though?
No.
Because I think
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's just all part of it doesn't matter in terms of what do I love? It doesn't matter at all in terms of what do I love. It will have a structure to it for sure. But yeah, again, it doesn't matter because it's just one of those things of seeing, of just observing myself and whilst experiencing myself.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh yeah, that's interesting. Do I really care whether it's, how much service I'm doing or how attached I am to service?
Yeah.
Or do I just want to be served?
Well, the question is, I think what is unfolding in what you're saying is that there's a call to service. And to me, like, you're naturally out there, right? You're naturally connected to layers of higher sources, increasingly. So when you're saying about sharing that, there's a natural, there's a yes to it. It feels right. You've got the experience. Like, some people go out and share it when they're 2 steps ahead. It's like, yeah.
I just, when I say it bothers me, sometimes it bothers me because sometimes it does bother me. But what I see is it's like a house built in cards that could just tip over at any time. It's like, wow, I see complete vata in it. I just see this unbridled burst of energy that's really not
it's not grounded.
It's not grounded. Yeah, it's not grounded. It's not integrated. It's just this burst of all or nothing sort of energy. And so is it sustainable? And also, is it ultimately, to me, superficial? Because it's not grounded.
Yeah.
So there is a level of superficialness to it because it's just blah blah. It's just noise.
Yeah, great.
Until it's grounded, it's like, and again, probably, and you've done the yards, you've done the apprenticeships, you've worked with mentors, who have metaphorically kicked your ass and slapped you around the head, and also opened you to depths of love that you couldn't perceive imaginable, and because they believe in you, because they see you, they know you, and they believe in you, and they see what's in the way and what's to be cultivated. And my experience of that is, you don't run out and offer the cake when it's not baked. You don't even know the fucking recipe really yet. You think you do.
Yeah.
So stop serving the cake and sharing the recipe when it's not ripe. It's not time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that's where a lot of people go, simply because it's there and it's confusing. They don't know the difference. Like, if they're 2 steps behind that other person and they're going, here's all the answers, ladies and gentlemen, it's not they sell the gold, but they don't own the gold, because they haven't done the work.
Oh, I like that. They sell the gold, but they don't own the gold. And I have an immediate image of, one of the things I love anthroposophical medicine or anthroposophy when it teaches you all about the secrets of the metals, and it's just like, oh. and one of the things that I've always loved about gold, because it's used in medicine widely, and I've prescribed medicines with gold in them for years, and the consciousness that it possesses, and the fact that it's the only metal that's not able to be corroded by earthly elements. So it is really, it's precarious to sell the gold before you've become the gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was headed to before was that both of us have done those kind of hard yards. We've done the years. We go back to past lives. It's kind of probably going for lifetimes, right? And
yeah, for sure.
And so when you offer it at that level, this is the response to the thing about true service, is that you're offering that gold to others who seek that, right? And so the people who offer it because they're 2 steps ahead, they don't have the gold, and they can't really offer it because it's essence, it's flavor. It's a gold painted thing for them. It's not the truth. And so in all of that, my point is, does it matter if you're really offering the gold, if you're being with your heart, if you're truly connected to your spirit, and the people who come to you are therefore then connected to your spirit? Does it matter if your ego gets involved? It's like that little girl going, I'm so awesome, look at me. And you just go, you're good at your darling. You're so cool. All right, see you later. Go play with
your toy. You're special, honey.
Yeah.
Special. Yeah. Nobody looked at me today and told me I was special. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter, because I don't think it matters, because you see it for what it is.
Yeah.
You see it for what it is. And so the resonance in you come from is different.
Mm.
And I think that's what is being called to be shared, is that resonance. And that's what will ultimately attract those that are ready.
Yeah.
Or those that align with whatever. There's something pure and prosperous and opulent in that.
Yeah, of spirit too. It's not about money, because this is where so many people get on board and use that as the like the stripes, the army stripes, like, oh, you've got more money, so you must be higher up. But no, that's not what this is about. It's really that connection to spirit. And I think that the flavor that we put out there is what we have to start shifting the world into, to see past that those shallow triggers and into the depth of who we truly are. Because I think this society has become so full of making a judgment about a person based on what they look like, but this is not who we are. It's just
so much so that people ignore their inherent nature and fill it up with synthetic natured product to meet in all kinds of ways, but literally and otherwise, in all kinds of, literally and metaphorically, to meet that what they've bought into, of this is the perceived success. Yeah in all aspects of materialism, even down to the way the body is not valued for its natural, graceful maturation at any phase.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like starting from the young right through. It's just, there's such curious times. Yeah. So I don't think we get away with selling ourselves anything less than
the gold.
the gold, Mike. If we try to sell gold plated, we're going to get metaphorically slapped around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And not to make it wrong. That's the big one for me. Is always not to make it wrong, just just to notice it, but not to alienate anyone by making it wrong or making them wrong. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but where do you call it? Where do you address it? Is it being asked to be addressed?
That's a good question, actually, because I have especially in the last kind of year or two, really felt the shift or found the programming all the way through life, for men, and I there will be this for women as well, but I speak, because I know this personally, of who we are, of what we have to pay attention to, the hero, the survivalist, the money maker, the protector, all of that stuff. But all of that is actually just programming. And
Yeah.
as we learn to drop that layer by layer, uh, and become truer to who we actually are in our experience, then we end up in a world that is vastly different. Because if you think about all of those men out there that are doing that kind of thing, um, based on things that they've been taught, but they don't realize, based on things that they've been taught in their childhood, and that's actually the cause of so many issues, because of the way things are being put out there, the programs, the products, do you know what I mean? Like, there's just too many people to do that, and the essence of it takes you away from your heart, which I think is what is clearly being called for now, to shift from the head to the heart and go, actually, what do I need? And when you think about that, like, I'm walking around, I mean, I don't have that much stuff, but even I'm walking around going, this is just all bullshit. What do I need all of this for?
Yeah.
So I'm like going, well, what am I actually attached to here?
Yeah.
And you can have that courage to start letting go, or like discovering the programming, and then questioning, well, is that true? Do I need that?
Yeah.
You end up in a really different space.
Just really living into the choice around balance in silence and nature. And I really felt I was experiencing that, just in my interactions and how I was living from day to day. And it was like, oh, this is, and also just being just really aware that of how much time I spend in silence and in nature. I'm still thinking, and
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, that's going to take time. That's going to take time. That's for all the years I've always been an overthinker, and for all the years of clinical practice alone, I was probably thinking a lot about patience a lot, because I really practiced a lot more than I really had the need, more than I could have, especially with a young family. And so I'd process a lot of it whilst I was in nature. But in the last 15 years or so, or a bit less than 15 years, since creating programs and things, then the thinking really kicked in.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was always keeping it going.
Yeah.
keeping it going, keeping it going, keeping it going. So it was really cool just to bring that awareness in.
Yeah.
And then just feel like, am I how silent am I right now?
Yeah.
How aware am I, and how present am I with nature right now? And so yeah, it's just really been living in me since we last met, and I was really grateful. It was really informing me.
Yeah, it reminds me of just that space that you can get into where if you don't try and change anything, don't try and fix it, don't try and quiet, all of that, but actually just disassociate from it, get to that place where you can just not attach to it, to witness it. There it is. That's me talking shit, making stuff up. Yep, there's thoughts, all of that, and that place of actually, yes, but that's not me. What's left? And just keep whatever comes, just keep putting it in that space. Because there's the interesting thing is, yeah, I can do that. Yep, there it is. But see, the recognition is, yes, that's true. But there it is. No, that's the ego kicked in again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah. So just being in that place where you just try and stay with the recognition, and as soon as the words come, it's like, yeah, there it is. That's okay.
Yeah. And you said to practice. What came to you for the bridge was practice it, and it is a practice. So I was aware, it's a real practice.
Yeah.
And for me, spiritual.
And I love that because it's a practice rather than practice. Yeah. So it will never be over.
No, it'll never be over.
Yeah. But at the same time, it kind of will. Like it kind of will get to this place where you can let it all go.